Right now, a thought is moving through your head, and you assume it belongs to you. What if it's the other way around? What if you belong to the thought? The old Hermetic teachers said something that sounds like fantasy until you sit with it long enough to feel the floor tilt. The universe is not a machine you live inside. It's a mind, a living, dreaming intelligence. And you, reading this, are one of its thoughts thinking itself into being. Stay with that, because it changes the math of your entire life. The Hermeticists called this principle mentalism. The first of their teachings, the foundation everything else rests on. The all is mind. The universe is mental. They weren't writing poetry. They were describing the substance of reality, the way you'd describe water to a fish. Everything you can touch, the screen in your hands, the room around you, the body you're sitting in, all of it is a thought held in a vaster awareness, solid only because the thinking is steady. And if that's true, you stop being a passenger. Here's where most people flinch and look away. Because if the universe is mind, and your consciousness is part of that mind, then your inner world is a workshop wired directly into the source. The thoughts you rehearse, the mood you marinate in, the version of yourself you keep imagining, these are instructions. You've been broadcasting orders this whole time without realizing you held the microphone. So why does life feel like it's happening to you? Why does it feel like the world hands you circumstances, and you just cope because you've been thinking with the universe's power and someone else's vision? You inherited a picture of who you are from people who never asked your permission. A teacher's offhand comment, a parent's quiet fear, a culture that told you to be realistic, which is just a polite word for small. You took those thoughts in, mistook them for facts, and the living mind, faithful as ever, built exactly what you assumed. It always does. That's the part nobody warns you about. The same law that traps you is the one that frees you. Identical mechanism. The only variable is what you feed it. Picture the kind of person you actually want to be, the one building the thing they can't stop thinking about. Steady hands, clear eyes, money that comes from work they do for free. You imagine that person as a distant destination, years away, gated behind luck and permission. The Hermetic teaching turns that picture inside out. That person isn't ahead of you in time. That person is a state of consciousness, available the instant you're willing to occupy it. Occupy. That's the whole game, and it's harder than any motivational clip will admit, because occupying a state means living from it before the evidence arrives. It means waking up and being that person where your bank account, your follow account, your unfinished project all scream the opposite. The mind that dreams the universe responds to your assumption, to what you've quietly accepted as already true about yourself. So deep you've stopped arguing with it. Most people assume lack. They assume struggle. Then they wonder why the dream keeps delivering more of it. You want to know the real discipline. It's the discipline of your inner conversation. The Hermeticists understood that thought is generative, but they also knew thought is mostly automatic. You run thousands of inner sentences a day, and almost none of them are chosen. They're reflexes, worn grooves. The same loops of doubt and comparison playing on repeat, each one a tiny instruction to the living mind, each one reinforcing the exact reality you're trying to escape. This is the mental diet nobody talks about. You guard what you eat and let your mind binge on garbage all day long. So you start watching to notice them, simply to see. That's step one. And it's quietly brutal. When you first turn attention inward, you'll be embarrassed by what you find. A constant low hum of self-attack. Rehearsals of failure. Imaginary arguments you always lose. You'll see how often you confirm your own smallness in the privacy of your skull. And here's the strange relief in it. If your inner world built this life, your inner world can build a different one. The power was running the whole time, just pointed the wrong way. Pointed wrong, it makes a prison. Pointed right, it makes a path. Same beam of attention, you just learn where to aim it. Now the practice gets specific. Each night before sleep, the mind slips into a state the Hermeticists prized, that drowsy threshold where you're not quite awake and not yet gone. In that state, the chattering surface goes quiet and the deeper mind opens like a door. This is when you plant. You don't visualize like a tourist watching a film. You enter the scene. You feel the handshake, the texture of the thing you've built. Warm and ordinary in your hands, already yours. You think from the wish fulfilled, and then you sleep on it, and you let the living mind do what it has always done, externalize the dominant thought. But one good night won't move the needle. This is where the spiritual tourists wash out. They try it twice, feel a flicker of something, then check the next morning to see if reality changed, like a kid digging up a seed to see if it sprouted. The living mind works in persistence. It's the assumption you return to 100 times, the state you keep choosing when the evidence mocks you, the quiet certainty you hold through the dry stretch when nothing visible is happening. Nothing visible. That phrase is where most dreams die, because the gap between assuming and receiving is the loneliest stretch you'll ever walk. You've planted, you feel it's done, and the outer world, lagging behind your inner shift, shows you the old reality a while longer. This is the test, and it's a precise one. Will you react to your senses, or stay loyal to your assumption? Will you let one bad day reset you to default, or hold the new state like it's the only fact that matters? Most people fold here. They mistake the delay for a denial and crawl back to broadcasting lack. The ones who make it learn a strange faith. Faith in the unseen. Faith in a process they can't track on a dashboard, and slowly the world starts to bend toward them. An idea arrives that was never there before. A person shows up. A door they'd walked past 1,000 times swings open. They call it luck because they've forgotten they're the dreamer. But you won't forget. You'll know the meeting was arranged in the mind before it ever happened in the room. The Hermeticists had a phrase for this correspondence between inner and outer: as above, so below. As within, so without. The world is a mirror with a delay, and you've been making faces at your reflection. Furious it won't smile first. Smile first, hold it. Watch the reflection catch up. There's a weight to this teaching that the bright manifestation crowd skips right over, and you deserve the full truth. If you are a thought in the universal mind, participating in its creation, then there is no one left to blame. The mentor who passed you over, the platform that buried your work, the timing that always seemed wrong, all of it grew from the soil of your own assumptions about what you deserve. That lands hard, it's supposed to. Because the same sentence that strips away your excuses hands you the keys. You are a participant in a world that responds to you. So the question stops being, why is this happening to me? And becomes, what in me is this matching? That's uncomfortable. It's a mirror you can't argue with. But it's the most powerful question a person can hold, because it puts the steering wheel back in your hands every single time. Circumstances stops being a sentence and becomes feedback. Information about the state you've been living from. And state can be changed. The young version of you wanted permission. The real you grants it. And once you taste that, the small comparisons start to dissolve. The person 3 steps ahead of you online, the one whose life you've been measuring yourself against at midnight, they're running the same machinery you are, planting in the same soil. The only difference is what they decided to assume about themselves and how long they held it. That's it. There's no secret tier of human you weren't born into. There's only the state you occupy and the loyalty you keep to it. You can begin that loyalty tonight, in the dark, for free, with nothing but the direction of your own attention. So you stop outsourcing your future to luck. You stop treating your imagination like a daydream and start treating it like the most precise tool you own. Think about what this means for the life you're actually trying to build, the project you keep almost starting, the skill you've half convinced yourself you're too late for, the body, the freedom, the work that's truly yours. All of it is gated by the self you're willing to assume, the conversation you're willing to change, the state you're willing to hold when the world offers you no proof. You've been waiting for reality to give you permission to become. Reality has been waiting for the same thing from you. This is the part where the teaching stops being philosophy and becomes a way of moving through your days. You catch the doubt mid-sentence and let it go unfinished. You walk into the drowsy dark each night and plant the scene one more time. You meet the dry stretch with stubborn certainty, knowing the seed is working under soil you can't see. You stop digging it up. You let the living mind, the same mind dreaming galaxies, and the breath in your chest do its ancient work through the small and steady instrument of your attention. You are a thought that learned it could think back. The universe didn't make you and step away. It is making you, right now, in the language you speak to yourself in the dark. Every assumption is a word in that sentence. Every state you hold is the next line of a story still writing itself. And the pen, it turns out, was never in someone else's hand. So tonight, before you sleep, Choose the thought you want the universe to think next. Then live like it already answered, because it already has. It's just waiting for you to stop arguing with the mirror and become the face you've been wanting to see.